Thank you. Thank you, Rose, so much. That was absolutely lovely. I think we all feel that about having the walk with him. And I have to just very quickly say that when Tahti came into the British Museum, there were so many different materials in that box. You know, there were peacock feathers and fairy lights and all that. At one point, we had about 6 different conservators who were actually looking at this work to make sure it could actually come into the British Museum. Thank you for that, Rose. So now we have Maziar Bahari, who's another very, very close friend, Iranian-Canadian journalist, filmmaker, human rights activist, the founder of Iran Wire. Some of you may know his memoir, Then They Came For Me, which was published in 2011. And he made the film that we're going to see, Paint No Matter What, which we're going to see it in full. But he's going to introduce it and talk to us about the Khosrow that he knew and showing a few snippets from other films. Thank you so much, Maziar. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Venetia. Thank you, Rose, for inviting me to such an amazing commemoration of my friend Khosrow. I've known Khosrow since 1998, I think. I went back to Iran after 12 years. And Khosrow was actually one of the first people I met in Iran after going back to my country. I left Iran in 1986, and it was during the Iran-Iraq War. I'm not sure how many of you remember were in Iran in 1980s, and how many of you know about Iran in the 1980s. People like us, I was a few years younger than Khosrow, and people in my generation, previous generation, and maybe generation after me, who experienced 1980s in Iran, we call ourselves the lost generation. Why? Because we think that our youth was taken away from us. Many of us, like Khosrow, and even I as an 11-year-old, took part in the revolution, following our parents, our older brothers, thinking that something amazing will happen. But then we saw our dreams destroyed in front of our eyes. And the claustrophobia that we experienced in Iran, the deprivation of anything cultural, of the humiliation that we suffered in the hands of the revolutionary guards, the teachers, the principals, in general, it really somehow, we felt that we've been deprived of everything. So one of the, I think, characteristics of people from my generation and Khosrow's generation is that we want to compensate for that lost time. And when I went back to Iran in 1998, that's the first thing I saw in Khosrow. Khosrow was doing everything. Like, you know, today when the alarm went off, I felt, well, it's so appropriate with Khosrow because something has to go, has to happen, something weird has to happen. And, I wouldn't be surprised if the alarm goes off again for maybe a longer period. And someone maybe get drunk in the audience or whatever. Something weird will happen. Just brace yourself for that. So with Khosrow, what I realized was that he, and when Venetia asked me to name the title of my talk, I said it's Khosrow Hassanzadeh, my friend, the war veteran, the grocer, and the artist. So with Khosrow, what I found was that he wanted to do everything. And of course, as Rose said, until 1999, he had not left Iran. He did not know that much about Western culture. He had not experienced Western culture. What he knew was from the books, and he read so many books. He was like an encyclopedia. When I went to, I was always priding myself about knowing Russian literature and French literature, and he had read Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, Chekhov, Lermontov, whoever, and we were talking about that. And at the same time, when I was talking to Khosrow, he wanted to do things. The first thing, actually, after maybe 3 minutes after we met, he said, why don't we write a script together? I was like, you don't know me. I might be, might be a horrible filmmaker. I might be, someone that you cannot trust. But he wanted to do things. So for the 5 years that we had this intense friendship and cooperating on different projects, we did so many projects together. The last one that I show first is the poster that Khosrow did for my film And Along Came a Spider, which was about Saeed Tanai, the killer of 16 prostitutes in Iran in 2001. And then inspired by by the film and inspired by people's reaction to the series, to the derived from them by the killer. And I thought, he should have called it something else, but I guess he didn't come up with a better title. But it's a wonderful series. It's an amazing series that you can see. And I think that agency that he gave to the prostitutes is also quite clear in all his different paintings. Many of the Iranian artists that we know, they have a very distant relationship with their subjects. They are subjects, actually. But for Khosrow, the people that he painted, the people who were subjects of his painting, they were not his subjects. He lived through them. He knew them personally. And of course, he painted his mother and sister and children and friends, but also the prostitutes, for example, that the sex workers that he painted in their prostitute series. He knew people like that because they were the clients of his grocery store. He, as you see in the paint No Matter What, he had conversations with them. He talked to them. He respected them in a sense as well as human beings. And I think that's what really distinguished Khosrow from other artists at that time. And also, one thing that I think not many people here mention is the project that we did together, which was, I think it was the first group project about the environment in Iran. It was called بچه‌های آبی آسمان سیاه, the blue children, dark skies, and that was again our reaction to what was going on in Iran and the fact that Khosrow was ready to do that. One day, our friend Bita Fayazi, who did the cockroaches, he came to one of the dinners or lunches that we were having and said that I cannot breathe. It's so polluted here. What should we do? And Khosrow said, why don't we do a group exhibition? Just like that. And then we gathered private financiers, government financiers. We took over building, and it was in 1999 when these things were not that popular in Iran, and we created that exhibition. Unfortunately, I was looking for any images of that. I don't have anything because the brothers, the Revolutionary Guards, when they raided my house in Iran, they took everything. So a lot of things that I had are lost. So let me show you a little bit of the And Along Came a Spider, and then I tell you a little bit more about Khosrow. If you can just show And Along Came a Spider, please.
ایشون همینجور که واسطه بود گلای چینی رو تماشا میکرد، یک سری گلای چینی بود از همسرمون در دیوار رو تماشا میکرد و اینا قابا رو تماشا میکرد. من از پشت سر گرفتمش با یک پشت‌پا با صورت آمد پایین و این زانو چپ رو گذاشتم رو پشتش. اول قصدشم که توی باغچه حیاط چالش کنیم. بعد دیگه به ذهنم رسید که موکتی داشتیم توی انباری حیات اون آورد داخل موکت پیچیدم گذاشتیم سرک موتور.
In July 2001, Saeed Hanai, a 39-year-old building contractor, was arrested and confessed to the killings. Hanai said that he decided to kill the women after a taxi driver mistook his wife for a prostitute. The spider killer claimed that the murder of the prostitutes was in accordance with Islamic teachings of preventing vice and promoting virtue.
So I think Khosrow saw the film, and because I didn't know these women, I tried to tell their experience through their families, through their children. But again, I did not know these people as intimately as Khosrow would know, because I did not have that many interaction with them as he had when he was working as a grocer. But also, one thing that I really wanted to emphasize today is the fact that my friendship with Khosrow came to not an end, but somehow we parted ways, maybe after this film, because as some of you may know me, I'm a political animal. I think about everything through political prism. And when I went to Iran, I didn't want to lose my press pass. I wanted to continue working in Iran. So I somehow contained myself and did not films and articles that were overtly political. But then after this film and saw the monstrosity of this regime and the government, I kind of let myself go. And then, what happened to me 4 or 5 years later, I cannot go back to Iran. But Khosrow and I remained friends. We respected each other. He did not feel as comfortable being as political as I was. And I respected that as well. And when many of my friends now in the Iranian opposition and in Iranian groups criticize people who continue working in Iran, artists, filmmakers, and they're saying that why don't they talk about human rights? Why don't they talk about politics? And I say that the very fact that they are in Iran, they are being themselves and they are working, they are being artists and they are being creative, that's a political act. And you have to respect that. And that's how my friendship with Khosrow continued. But in the beginning, I saw something very different with Khosrow as well. That even though he was not political, actually politics kind of made him uncomfortable, I saw his work really political. And that realization came to me after we did a film, the first film, that I show a little bit of it about the group exhibition that he had with Farid Jahangir, Sasan Nasiri, and our friend Bita, that happened in Tehran, Art of Demolition. And he was, again, very different. I really thought that, here is a real political artist with a real potential. And even though I didn't want to do something overtly political, I thought that through Khosrow, I could do something implicitly political. Maybe we can show a little bit of the film, and then we can show the main film that we did with Khosrow after this one, the Art of Demolition. Yeah.
روشن نکردم از حواسم نیاز میخوام عوض بیا سعید جان بیا اینجا حالت دارم حالت چطور خیلی وقت نمیای پلومن
because you'll see more of Khosrow. This is Khosrow from high angle. So you'll see more of Khosrow here. So again, as you can see in that first shot of the film, I think it's very telling about the different characters that Sasan and Farid, they were painting, very good artists, both of them, Aydin Aghdashlu's students as well as Khosrow and Bita, having a very close friendship with the subject, really treating people carefully. But this experience of making this film really made our friendship closer, and we became not only friends, but also, I think, Khosrow became kind of my muse. I became Khosrow's muse. It was like a really intense friendship for 4 or 5 years between 1998 and 2002, 2003. So Venetia told me that we are running late. It's very Iranian. Thank you so much for observing that Iranian tradition of being late. Maybe we can watch the film, and I'll be here to answer any questions you may have after the film Paint No Matter What, which is from 1999. Thank you.
برای بعضی خیلی عجیبه که چطور من هم یک نقاشم و هم میوه فروش هستم. خب من نقاشی هستم که میوه فروشی میکنم و اینجا با آدم‌های واقعی من سر کار دارم. آدمایی که درد دارن، رنجای روزمره خودشون دارن و به دنبال یه لقمه نون میان تو این خیابون و فعالیت‌های روزمرهشون آغاز میکنن و شروع میکنن برای یه لقمه به دست آوردن.
بعدش با مهربونی هستی، هر چی بگیم میخری. خب بعدش ولی حرف مامانم گوش نداره. مثلا میگه کجا رفتی نمیگی کجا.
نجور بگید
çok derdi sen.
مرض تندبازهای مختلفی بود. نسل که انقلاب رو میبینه، نسل که جنگ رو میبینه. چند تا دوستان هم شهید شدن و تعدادشون جانباز شدن، اسیر شدن و تعداد دوستان که از مرز گریختن و پناهنده سیاسی شدن کشور دیگه یا پناهنده اجتماعی. به هر حالی که نسل که من با نازنین هم نسل خیلی متفاوتی بود، یا تعدادشون کاملا پوچگرا شدن یا کاملا آرمانگرا، یعنی نسلی نبود که بی تفاوت بشه به زمانه خودش.
چی باشه؟ دوست دارم بیشتر نقاشی منظره ها رو بکشم تا مثلا آدم خونه.
کجا نمایش بدی؟ چی کارش کنی؟ اینا رو میدونی خودت؟
اینا رو فعلا
Mazia, what an absolute privilege to see that film. I'm sure, please, could we all just give Mazia another round of applause for this? I think we're going to have just a few minutes break, so I think we need a pause from this emotion. But thank you so much to our speakers, To Rose, thank you for your wonderful insights. Mazia, really, no words for that film, just quite extraordinary, and hope that lots and lots of people are going to see this. What a privilege. So we're going to have more films now. We're going to have a short film by Mohammed Sherwani, which is called Warhol Saved Me, and we heard about the Warhol series before. Mohammed Sherwani is an independent prize-winning filmmaker based in Tehran. His films that you might have heard of or seen, The Circle, The Candidate, President Mir Kambar, and others, have been shown internationally to great acclaim. And since 2012, he's been running the Alternative Cinema Workshop in Iran. And so let's show this film, and then after that, I'll come back and tell you what's happening next. Thank you.
ما یه سیستمی دارن تو خارج از اون سیستم نمیتونی حتی آرزو کنی، یعنی حتی آرزوهایی که رویاهایی که داری بعد داخل اون سیستم کاپیتالیسم هرچی هست کم جای مصرفی که اندی وارهول اشاره میکنه و شروع میکنه این جامعه کاپیتالیسمی که هنرش میشه این سوپ و کوکاکولا. خب این اتفاق داره اونجا میفته و توی لندن من اینو لمس کردم، یعنی با همون هندونه خریدنم فهمیدم که اینجا جای اون هندونای رویایی من که آرزو کنم نیست.
What a glorious film. I wish that Mohammed Sherwani could be here in person for us to thank him. But maybe as this is being filmed, maybe we could give him a round of applause and he can hear this. The next thing we have is really remarkable and organised by Fereshteh Moussaoui. And this, what you're going to see here is interviews with a lot of. Hang on, just 1 second. Interviews with a lot of Khosrow's friends, and this is a very precious document. But I wanted just to read something first. The first person we're going to hear from is Khosrow's daughter Nadia, but the second person, I believe, is his teacher, Aydin Agdashlu. And amazingly, we have some extraordinary letters that Khosrow wrote to Aydin, and Aydin has very, very, very kindly shared them with us, and they've been translated by his son. No, they were made available through Takin and translated by Sanam Kalantari. And I just want to read you one of these letters. It's from January 15th, 1985. Yes, life passes by like a river leading to the sea, continuing on its way on smouldering and freezing days, and on days driven by a feverish anxiety. I have to say that true life is an internal life, something that I assume you're familiar with and have referred to before. Fate plays a game with us, as do confusing acts. I suddenly become aware that I am subconsciously traversing a path that I did not expect. Yes, such is life. It's a struggle with victories and defeats. I'm not a bourgeois like you, he says. I'm not a petit bourgeois, brackets, unfortunately. I'm a member of the masses who spends the nights awake worrying about the next day and grappling with my internal thoughts and ideas. Sometimes I have to work hard to make a living while worrying about losing my artistic and spiritual life, yet I don't resent this. I'm one of the defeated, and as a wise man said, long live the defeated, or alas for the victorious. I was too ashamed and owed you too much to come and say goodbye to you, and I greatly regret not being able to attend your art history classes. In 2 days, I'm off to serve, a military service that I have no desire for, a so-called service for a so-called cause. Yes, like millions of others, I had to enlist in the sacrifice of war, but I will heed your advice and take care of myself. I will continue to sketch and will come to you for advice as soon as possible. my teacher, I love and admire you very much, and I say this from the heart and will never forget you. Please take good care of yourself because society needs you, and I will do the same. Hope to see you again, from an admiring student to his dear teacher and father, Khosrow. So let's see the film now. Thank you, Nori.
خیلی سخته. هنوز فکر میکنم خیلی وقتا با وجود اینکه 2 ماه هم روز گذشته فکر میکنم خیلی وقتا بابا هنوز تو خونشه و این ساعتها 5-6 بعد از ظهر به بعد 7 بعد از ظهر به بعد چایش الان حتما دم شده است که 2-3 تا دوست آشنا صدا کرده یا خود من قرار برم پیشش تخت نرد آنلاین بازی کنه و کلی قاف بخندیم و راجع به هر موضوعی حرف بزنیم.
A few minutes presentation to cover Khosrow's remarkable life and work would leave much to be desired. Not that he would have daunted Khosrow the least, he wouldn't have allowed himself to be troubled by such petty reservations. Khosrow, a larger-than-life artist and cherished friend, left a profound and enduring bond, not just with me, but with everyone he came across and interacted with. He was ever present, supportive, and at your side. Never a naysayer, many projects that to others would seem as too forbidding, he would embrace the opportunity with open arms and indulge in the experience. Khosrow lived in the now, making every moment count and special, a quality which I have yet to see in any other person. I feel that his enduring presence will be with us for a long time yet.